and welcome back for another short practice. This one is all about shaking it off. So whether it's something from your day, whether it's your night's sleep, whatever it is that you kind of need to shake off and let go and come into some movement, a bit more calm, this is the practice for you. So finding just a comfortable position for your feet, have them a little separated. We're just going to literally start with a little bit of a shake. So shaking through your hands. See if you can bring it up into your arms a little bit. Feels a little bit weird. Just try not to overthink it too much. You might give your head a little bit of a shake. See if you can bring that shake through your shoulders, a bit of a rotation back and forth. See if you can bring it down through your middle. Some softness in your knees as you're twisting, a little shake. Feel free to wobble your legs in and out a little bit, bending and straightening. Beautiful. Maybe even let go of one foot to shake and the other one. Lovely. Now we're going to bring ourselves slowly into our mountain pose. So finding stillness, bring the feet a comfortable distance apart, softness in the knees. You might like to turn your palms out open. And maybe bring your gaze down in front of you or closing your eyes. Just see if you can feel any kind of remnants of that shaking. If there's anything that feels a little tingly, anything that feels a little lighter, a little looser. Noticing any sensations that come from just that little bit of a short shake out. See if you can soften through your jaw, let your cheekbones really relax into it. Beautiful. Then we're going to start by finding our chair pose. So for our chair pose, we want to bend our knees, sitting our bottom back, sitting into the weight in our heels. And just with our hands, you could have them at your hips, you could have them down beside you. We're going to inhale back into our chair pose and then exhale to drive up tall. So we'll take a few like that. Inhale to sit back in that imaginary chair and exhale, drive. Beautiful. Taking a few rounds through and playing with the depth of it. For our chair pose, we can sit up quite high where the load on the legs is a lot less, or we can play with coming a lot deeper. Either way, we want these lowest ribs in line with the rest of the body so that we're not cat or cowing our spine. We've got this lovely long length down our spine. Take a few more like that. Beautiful. If you want to add arms in as well, we can inhale to reach forwards and exhale to press back. We can do that with our arms. It might even feel nice as you exhale, stand up. We press our palms back slightly behind the line of our body. Just helps us activate through our center a little more. Beautiful. Option to keep moving like that or find a hold with your chair pose. You could have arms out in front. You could bring them to your hips, whatever works best for you. Once you've found that depth that feels right, option to keep really grounded through the whole of each foot. Or you could start to play with floating the heels a little. You could float them just off the floor. You could come really high onto the balls of the feet. Completely up to you. If it feels like a lot, but you still want to do it, feel free to come up and then bring the feet down a little bit. You can play with lifting and lowering them or hold them lifted. Completely up to you. Let's take 2 more breaths, whether you're moving or whether you're holding. Beautiful. Let's anchor those heels down. Let's stand up tall, a bit of a wiggle out. Release it here. Beautiful. We're going to take some big sweeps and drops here. So what that looks like is inhale, we're going to sweep our arms up overhead. And if we can lift up off the balls of our, or onto the balls of our feet, lift our heels a little bit. Then with a big, heavy exhale, we're going to thump the heels down with some softness in our knees. So we've got some give. Thump the heels down and sweep the arms down. So it looks like this. So taking a few like that. And if you want to imagine you're gathering up whatever it is you're wanting to let go of, we can sweep it up tall and then let it go. Taking about 3 more of those if that feels okay. Last one when you're ready. Beautiful. Letting that go with our breath, with our body. Lovely. All right, we're going to come into a little bit of a flow here. It's going to use our chair pose and use our heel lifts. So to start us off, let's stand tall. We're going to inhale to reach out and up. Palms to touch. Exhale, let's come down into our chair pose. So sitting our hips back and down low. From here, we're going to come into our drinking bird. So we're going to sweep our arms away past our hips like big wings reaching behind us. We're going to tip up and over like we're looking up over into a big tall barrel. And see if we can lift our heels a little here, coming into our drinking bird. Our heart's reaching forward, our fingertips are reaching behind. Lovely sense of balance here. Let's take a full, steady breath. And then inhale, we're going to slowly sweep our arms forwards and up as we reach our whole body tall. Keeping heels lifted if we can. And then hands come to touch and heels and hands lower down together. And we come back into that chair pose. Beautiful. Into our chair pose. Forwards into our drinking bird, reaching up and over. Wings reach away behind, lifting heels. We're going to sweep all the way forwards and up. And then hands together, hands and heels lowering. Let's come through 2 more times down into that chair pose. Over into our drinking bird. Lifting up tall. And lowering together. Last time. Making sure that breath can just flow smooth and steady throughout. Tapping into a lot of balance, a lot of strength here, but some lovely flow with the breath. We want to make sure our breath can stay smooth and steady, helping our body feel relaxed. Beautiful. This time as we come down through, let's find our forward fold. So softening into the knees. I want to bring our belly over our thighs. Hands can be to our shins, to our feet, to the mat. Finding whatever works best for you. We're going to see if we can bring a little release here. So really softening into the knees. If it works for you to relax the head all the way down, let's take some little nods, yes. And you can go some little side to side nose, relaxing through the jaw, through the face, through the neck. Just taking a gentle release here. Lovely. And maybe it feels nice to hold opposite elbows and let that gentle weight of the arms hang. If not, feel free to keep the hands anchored for that little bit more support here. Take your time. Beautiful. From here, let's slowly walk our hands out. And the option to stay in downward dog or to bring knees down to tabletop. So for our downward dog, we're pressing our chest back towards our thighs. We've got a bit of softness in the knees here. For our tabletop, we shift our shoulders forwards and we bring knees down. So either of these places are great places to be. And from either place, let's take a little bit of a wag of our tailbone, a little bit of bend through the spine, a little bit of rotation to one side and then the other. If we're in that downward dog, we can start to pivot the feet, really taking the hips to one side and then the other, bending into the knees as much as you need to. If we're in that hands and knees, we can sway the hips as far as it's comfortable on either side. Just finding a bit of release here. Beautiful. Nice work. Alrighty. If you're in downward dog, let's take a really slow release down to hands and knees. We can slowly shift our shoulders forwards, slowly bend into our knees, gently bring it down, and we'll all meet in hands and knees. And then we're going to take our right leg straight out to the right. So we're going to prop that foot flat. We go from hands and knees to propping that right foot out to the right. We're going to anchor firm into this left hand. Inhale, reaching that right hand open and out and up. And then exhale, curling through. Let's take a couple like that. Let's inhale to peel open. Exhale, wrap it through. Beautiful work. Taking a couple more like that. Last 2 with your breath. That inhale to give us lots of space and reach. Exhale to come through. And last one in your own time. Beautiful. From here, let's plant both hands. We'll bring that right leg back in. Again, you might come back to that little bit of a side to side sway, or you might prefer to take some cat and cows, arching up and down with the spine. Taking your time, bringing some movement through the spine. Beautiful. When you're ready, let's find neutral again. Let's step our left leg out this time, propping it out wide, foot flat, toes facing forwards. Anchoring into the right hand. Let's inhale, left arm open and up, and wrapping through underneath. Beautiful. Finding that sense of space with your inhale, grounding back down towards the mat with your exhale. Let's take one more. Beautiful. Releasing that hand down. Let's bring left leg in. We'll find child's pose here. We can take our knees out nice and wide, sitting our hips back, folding forwards over the legs. Hands can come down onto the mat or onto our hands. Just letting everything soften down heavily here. And then if you'd like to find a bit of extra side length, we can walk both hands over to the right side of our mat, creating an extra length down that left-hand side of our body. Letting our head rest down, reaching hands away, and just breathing space into that stretch there. Let's take 3 more smooth, steady breaths. And slowly coming through center, let's come over to the other side. Bit of reach, a bit of length as the hands walk away to the left and that right side of the body opens up a bit more. Taking 3 more breaths on this side, feeling into that sense of stretch. And gently through center. Let's walk ourselves back up. Lovely. From here, let's come to hands and knees again. We'll find a little bit of movement with our child's pose. And so from here, let's find hands and knees. We're going to arch ourselves up into that big cat pose, drawing ourselves back to the child's pose, and then pulling ourselves forwards with our hands into our cow pose. So it's like a big circular movement. We arch up, we draw back, and we pull through with the heart, creating that gentle dip in the spine. We want it to feel really good. So if that means going a little bigger or a little smaller, we can draw it right back and keep those sensations really small and subtle. Or it might be one of those days where you feel better doing those nice big movements, big sensations. Beautiful. Let's take one last round through. Lovely. Then we're going to make our way down onto one side. Pick whichever side works best in your space. We'll come over to the other one in a minute. So coming down onto one side, we're going to create a little pillow for ourselves with our bottom arm. We're going to bring ourselves into some clown lifts here. So feet are connected, that top leg's resting on the bottom leg. Just taking a few lift and lowers with that leg. If you want a bigger range here, we can float both feet off the floor and lift and lower that top leg from there. And we want our shoulders, our hips, our feet in one long line down our mat. And while we're making this lift and lower, we really want our hips to stay stacked. So it might be nice to pop a hand on that shoulder, or on that hip rather, just to make sure it's not rocking too much. Let's take 2 more, feet floating or anchored on the floor. Beautiful. From here, making a little fist, we can give ourselves a little pummel, a little massage around the outside of the glute, down the outside of the hip and the leg. It's a bit of a way to release all of that. Beautiful. And then with the support of that bottom arm for your head, let's take some nice slow backward circles here. So we can sweep this top arm up away behind, wheeling it over. Just making them as big or as small as you need. You can always bend into that elbow if that feels better. And you can stay facing forwards, just keeping that movement in that shoulder. Or we can create a bit of movement here through the chest, a bit of a twist. So we can roll ourselves onto the back of our head to reach away behind and then come back forward. So we can really open up through the chest and return. Beautiful work. Nice one. Let's do one more. And then just pausing on our side, taking a breath. And then let's make our way over to the other side. You might just roll over in your space to face the other way or flip up and over depending on how you're set up today. But setting up, legs stacked, feet, hips, shoulders in one long line, some support for the head. Let's take those clam lifts, that connection of the feet, lift and lower of the top knee. Again, if you're looking for that extra range, that extra challenge, we can bring both feet off the mat. We're controlling that lift and that lower. Often the range isn't huge. It's not a big movement. So how well can we slow down that lower down with those big leg muscles? Let's take 2 more. Releasing down with a bit of a pummel, a bit of a release here. Beautiful work. And then let's take those gentle backward circles, top arm long over the hip. We sweep up forwards and over away behind. Again, option 1 is to keep the chest and the gaze straight forwards, just gently wheeling through the arm with each breath. Or the option, as that arm comes past the ear, we roll onto the back of the head and really reach that arm away behind, bringing a twist through the middle and upper spine. Let's take 2 more. And gently releasing. From here, let's make our way over onto our back. Setting your hips centered. As you arrive on your back, taking any movements that feel good for you. It might feel nice to rock yourself side to side. Take some circles with the knees. It's a chance to anchor onto the back of your body. I'm going to talk us through a little release called scrunchy floppy. It's a way of sort of engaging and releasing different parts of the body. And then I'll gently leave you, and it's up to you if you would like to stay for longer, to have some time in stillness, to have some time in relaxation today. So when you feel ready, let's bring feet down to the mat, either setting your feet nice and wide with your legs resting in towards each other, or sending your legs out long. You can always pop a pillow or a blanket underneath your knees for a little more support for the lower back if you prefer. Just getting yourself super comfy and settled. If you'd like to close your eyes, you can. We're going to work through scrunchy floppy, which is all about engaging different parts of the body with our breath and then letting it go. So we're going to start with the lower body, our legs, our feet, and our toes. Let's take a clearing breath to start us off. Just a big, deep inhale. And a full, deep exhale. Then breathing in, let's squeeze in the lower body. So we're going to squeeze our bottom, our legs, our feet, our toes, scrunching it all in as we breathe in. Letting it all relax as we breathe out. We're going to repeat that 2 more times. Breathing in, scrunching up the lower body, squeezing tight. Breathing out to let it go. Last time, breathing in, scrunching, squeezing it all in. Breathing out to let it go. This time we're coming into our belly, our chest, our arms, our hands. Breathing in, squeezing it all in through the middle body and relaxing it out. 2 more times, breathing in to squeeze it all in. And out, relax. Breathing in, scrunching it up. Breathing out, relaxing. And then 3 times through the face, breathing in, scrunching out your face, all the face muscles as tight as you can. Breathing out to relax. 2 more times, breathing in, scrunching in, and out to relax. Last time with the face, breathing in and out. Taking 3 rounds with the whole body now, breathing and scrunching in every muscle that you can find. Breathing out, relaxing it all. 2 more times, breathing in and letting it go. Last one here, scrunching in, relaxing out, and letting your whole body be relaxed. Feeling into that support of the floor, the mat, the earth underneath you. And just letting each breath, each out breath in particular, bring a sense of ease to our body. I invite you to stay here in this resting place for however long you have today. Thank you so much for joining me for this short practice. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.